You may not know this, but I'm not a Gen Zer, but my guest is. Today, we're going to talk about 3 things that you should learn about money in your 20s. So these aren't get-rich schemes or dumb passive income ideas. These are things that I wish I knew in my 20s. So before we start, give me a little fist bump on the like and subscribe button. You're listening to Financial Sense, Arizona's financial podcast that gives you insights that you can only get from a friend in the business. Recorded and brought to you by National Bank of Arizona, the bank of the community. Hello, I'm your host, Brent Cannon. I'm the president and director of the community bank here at National Bank of Arizona. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we have Brennan Wemmer, who's our branch manager at our Gilbert and Southern branch out in Mesa. Welcome, Brennan.
Thanks for having me, Brent.
Yeah. So, Brennan, you're our resident Gen Zer branch manager, banker here at National Bank of Arizona. And today, you're going to share some of the lessons that you've learned, not only the fact that you're 20-something, but also the fact that you're in the industry. And so you have insights that maybe other 20-year-olds don't. So I think today is a day that you get to share your Gen Z knowledge with the Gen Z population.
Straight facts.
Straight facts. So Brendan, why don't you start with sharing a little bit about your financial journey in the last, 5, 6, 7 years, and maybe personalize it. Share, what have you kind of learned?
Yeah. I got into banking at 19. I started off as a teller.
Teenager.
Yeah. While I was still in community college, I was a teller at this local credit union. And from there, I came to National Bank of Arizona as a personal banker, and it was rarely where I learned a lot about financial tips, really just helping the clients kind of in the older age ranges, kind of seeing how they do things. And I even piggybacked a lot from very experienced people. Even though they were clients, they just, I learned a lot from them.
Sure.
And just learning the products that we offer, just being able to set people up with these products taught me a lot about them. It kept me out of debt, kind of taught me how to use credit cards the right way.
Right.
So yeah. And then of course, just last year, becoming a branch manager, now I'm on the business side. So now I'm learning all there is about business lending, which is a whole nother, oh my God.
It's a whole nother aspect. That's right. So Brendan, why don't you share some of the things you've learned being a Gen Zer, going through your 20s, but also working in the financial services industry, maybe some tips, some items that you could really help people kind of learn faster than they otherwise would?
Yeah. 3 tips I would have, maybe 4. First of all, understand banking products. There's more than just checking accounts out there. I think too many young people just keep all their money in a checking account and don't utilize the other products that banks have, savings, money market, CDs. My second tip, understand terms on lending for credit cards and auto loans, or really any kind of loan. Just understanding the terms and knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
Third, take advantage of, financial benefits like your employer's 401k, get those things started early. And the bonus tip, know your banker. I think too many Gen Zers are like, I do all my banking on my phone. I don't need to go into the branch. And having that human connection, even in banking, can really, really help. I've been able to teach a lot of young people how to, really make smart financial decisions.
I think that's really important, and people don't realize the power of having that personal relationship with your banker. But these are big decisions that people are going to begin facing. Buying a car. Buying a car these days are, north of 50 grand all day long. Buying a home and saving for, your children, et cetera. These are all big life decisions. To have that relationship with a banker is just, I can speak for myself, both from the banker's perspective and from a consumer's perspective. It is nice to be able to bounce ideas or thoughts or things that I've learned online off my banker. And it sounds to me like that's the relationship you have with many of your customers. Yeah,
knowing your banker is really good. I know my clients know me, and it's really great to have that personal connection with a banker because I can give free guidance,
Yep, makes sense. So I'm not a Gen Zer, but 2 things that, two tips or 2 things that I would add on that I learned was, number 1, understanding the power of leverage and debt, but also the danger. Mm-hmm. There's power to it, but it's you really need to be careful how much you use. And then secondly, the power of compounding interest. People in their 20s need to understand the power of compounding interest. And what that is compounding interest is when you earn interest on not just the principal, but also the interest that you've accrued on that original principal. And that becomes a kind of an exponential growth engine, and people really need to pay attention to that. Put that into ChatGPT. You'll figure it out quick. But compounding interest, those are 2 things that I've learned long since. My 20s are long since in my rearview mirror. But Let's delve a little deeper into these kind of three main items. So first of all, understanding your bank and the products that they offer. Let's focus first on deposit products. Let's talk about deposit products.
Yeah, so a checking account is obviously the most basic bank account. Everyone hopefully should know what one is.
Right.
Money comes in, money comes out, comes with a debit card, all that. But a lot of people kind of just have this excess money that sits in their checking that could be put in better products. There is the savings account, which is the most basic type of savings account,
right?
Hence the name. But there's also different kinds of savings. A lot of people don't know what a money market is, and money markets are a great tool. They offer a little bit more interest earning than a savings account. Limited number of transactions per month, but that's the idea of it. Is you want to keep it in there.
That's why you get the little higher interest rate.
Exactly. And then of course a CD. If you really want your savings to grow and you know you don't need to spend that money, lock it away for 6 months, a year, 3 years, whatever, and that'll earn the most amount of interest.
And just thinking about this, moving money into your savings, there's of course less. It's not your transaction account, so it's much easier to kind of keep track of the balance and know that the balance is the balance. Mm-hmm. But also, it may protect you from fraud because those accounts are separate in the event that somebody gets a hold of your debit card number or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say keep just the money that you know you're going to spend, keep in your checking, everything else, keep in your savings, money market. Because if someone gets a hold of your debit card, they can't drain your savings account.
I think that's a really good summary of the deposit products that are available. Now let's talk a little bit on the loan side or credit side. And specifically, I want you to focus on credit cards. And when a Gen Zer comes into the branch and starts kind of, talking about how do I establish credit? What's important? What credit card should I have? What are kind of overview what those conversations are like?
I will say credit cards can really be a great tool if you want to use it to keep track of your spending,
right,
as long as you're disciplined, of course. But like I mentioned with credit cards, as long as you pay your statement balance off at the end of the month, you don't pay interest. It comes out of your checking account either way, whether you pay your credit card off or just use your debit card all month. But at least with a credit card, you can potential to earn some cash back, 2-3% cash back,
right,
without having, and of course, if you're paying off your full balance, you're not paying interest. So you actually save a little bit of money,
yep,
but that only is if you're disciplined. Because if you don't pay the full credit card balance off, now you're paying interest and you're worse off than you would have using your debit card.
That's right.
So we have really good credit card options. Just kind of depends on what they're looking for. We do have some great starter cards if they're looking for lower interest or if they're looking for cash back and rewards. And then if they do have some established credit, there's some really great premier cards that we have, which are great for travel and other perks as well.
So I think the benefits are there. The cards are there. The key that I heard you talk about is these are terrific tools. Use them as such and be careful with them. Mm-hmm. Fair?
Yep.
So the third tip that you talked about was starting savings for retirement, whether that's a 401k, if you have an employer that offers a 401k or some other retirement saving vehicle. Talk about the importance and as it relates to that.
Yeah, if your employer offers a 401k, definitely take advantage of it. It's a great opportunity that employers offer, and if they're matching your 401k, you're losing money, not taking advantage.
Contributing.
You better be contributing at least up to what they're matching you.
Right.
And I would say if your bank offers, one thing I didn't mention on the product side is if your bank offers an IRA, take advantage of those as well.
That's another way to save. I hear from so many young people that, hey, you don't understand, Brent. I have to pay my rent, my car payment. I don't have the money. And then these are the same people that have DoorDash showing up 5 nights a week. So listen, can't tell you how important it is. And I know you're going to talk about, but when you're in your 20s, you have something on your side that person in their 50s don't. What is that?
Lots of time.
Lots of time. So don't waste any time. Get started as soon as possible. Is that a fair message?
Yeah. I mean, that $10 a month for Xbox Live could go towards, your savings.
That's right. We have the ability to rationalize lots of different expenses. And if people are really honest with themselves, and by the way, it's a good thing to have somebody you trust, like a banker, to sit down and go, hey, here's kind of what I'm doing. To have a good relationship with a banker, they can sit down and help you kind of make some tough decisions sometimes.
Yeah, no, just like I said, know your banker. I love to help my clients. I love just come chat with them. We can talk about cool, whatever stuff, and then just make sure at the end of it that he learns, he or she learns what is the right and wrong thing to do as far as taking care of themselves financially.
Just in one other comment on that, why I think it's so important, and this is a message for anybody listening. We're a little bit like doctors in the respect that, we see personal financial statements, credit reports, for us, it's just part of the job. There's no, it's a judgment-free zone. We're trying to help people, and I suspect that's probably the message you send to your clients and to folks that want to come visit with you. But everybody makes some bad decisions and kind of go down the wrong path. The important thing is acknowledging that, getting some help, and turn around and getting going in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Brennan, those are great tips. I liked all three plus the bonus tip. I'm a big one on that last one, the bonus tip of knowing your banker, that relationship. And you're right. Gen Zers have a tendency to want to do everything digitally, and the importance of an interpersonal relationship with a banker, I think, is absolutely critical. The message I'm hearing from you is don't delay, get started. And the sooner you get started, the better off you're going to be. Mm-hmm. I do know this, that if you don't take care of these important aspects in your financial life, the amount of stress that comes with that is incredible. And so I think your words of wisdom here for the listeners is really, really good. And I think you're a great example, by the way, for not just a Gen Zer, but a banker. So well done. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, Brent, no, I appreciate it. And anybody out there here in Mesa or the East Valley want to, talk to a banker that they can relate to, I'm more than happy to help.
Well, I will tell you that every customer review I ever see from Brennan's branch is 5-star, and he provides a tremendous amount of service. So I'll give you a thumbs up on that. Thanks so much for joining us today. Do us a big favor, like and subscribe. We want to provide as much content as we can through this podcasting platform. And the more followers we have, the more content we're getting out. So see you next time.